still on the table. We got the Granger, we got the Claude, who still comes by every now and then, and of course, GOSU here could even opt to actually take down one more fighter. Well, not really exactly a fighter. I'll just correct myself right there. Maybe if they really want to ban, the Valor might be a good choice as well, because from the side of Axis Esports, they are still looking for a little bit more of that firepower.
Yeah, and Axis Esports, I believe they also did pick the carry in the previous game. Granger is still on the table, like you mentioned, and you are Team GOSU. I was about to bring out the Archive. Archive was a pick that, while we were watching the previous series, we were hoping that Axis Esports will pick that up in game number 1, where they only had this Lolita as that front line. Team GOSU, they're going to deny this double tank because the rest of the priority tanks, Hylos and Kufra, have been taken out as well. So smart move from Team GOSU. But I also want to point out, Team GOSU during their qualifiers towards M1, they have some interesting picks when during the Shanghai qualifiers, where they have Estes, a hero that we just don't see almost anywhere. But today they're gonna go with the textbook play, and carry will be their choice.
I do like the answers coming from the side of Team GOSU right here. They needed something that's really reliable to spread out some of these tanks, and what better way than to pick up the carry. All you have to do is get the Demon Hunter Sword, and you will get a little bit more of that power spike, or even the Golden Staff as well. But Franco is something that we haven't really seen all too much of inside of the M1, but in the MPL MYSG, this is one popular pick heading in towards that playoff round. So Axis Esports is taking double or nothing, and now they're locking in the Franco right here and hoping to connect those hoops.
Yeah, and this is the all-in, I could say the all-in for Axis Esports. On paper, it seems like it's going to work out pretty well, and it is. The theory crafting for Axis Esports does seem more robust compared to the first series. Team GOSU right now, if you're looking at this Franco, you kind of know that Kaja might not find an easy way to just go and flicker Divine Judgment because of the presence of this Franco. So he has a big task if you are the Malaysian team. But Team GOSU, the Thamus is a really obvious choice. We've seen Leomord being picked out only by VFM yesterday as a stable, neutral fighter. But the general consensus is Thamus is still the more popular pick.
Well, I definitely will agree with that. The Lavender has been really consistent, and the win ratios are pretty good as well, as we are looking at the stats of Tavis. And for Axis Esports right here, of course, great pickoff potential in the early bouts, but heading in towards the late game here, I'm looking at GOSU, and I'm liking how secure the mid and late game is for the North American team. Now, of course, Team GOSU here, being here in the M1, they're looking to prove a statement. Same goes to Axis Esports. So now we're heading in towards our very first game between these two talents. Of course, love the flags as well, pretty much similar in colors in that sort of sense. But for Axis Esports here, they really got to pick themselves up. I felt like that 2-0 sweep that just happened against Burmese Goals, it was a little bit of that sort of a passiveness coming from the Axis Esports side, which I felt was not really that sort of a signature play style that they were in. So perhaps they should be pretty much well relaxed to be confident to play their own game.
Yeah, and the skills will kind of tip as well. Malaysia, the locals would mostly agree that Axis Esports, just like most of the Malaysian teams, are the aggressors. They like to play aggressively, but we've seen Game 1 slightly greedy against Burmese Goals with the single tank 2 fighter. Didn't work out. Game 2, same as well. But the game is ready though, so we'll see if Axis Esports can turn this around and flip the script and take on Team GOSU in the second series.
GOSU, the American Dragons here, are slowly marching in towards the lanes. And of course, get yourself that M1 ticket. Here's a little bit of that promo code that you can copy down if you have not. Make your purchase. And now we're looking at Ken Ray here, already tossing out the wheel, and Breezy, oh my goodness, already dropping down to 50%. So a rough start for the side of GOSU right here, but shouldn't be too much of a hassle for Team GOSU to come back into play. So basically supported by the Kaya, and they're looking to make sure that Breezy gets that level 4 in hand so that they could go in for that flicker and Divine Judgment.
Yeah, and Team GOSU right now is going to go for the standard, and I like the early invade coming in from the USA team, and Evo is the only one who tries to go for protection on that buff, and he actually took it away. So managing to slow down the tempo from Team GOSU is a good start for Axis Esports.
That's definitely a huge signal for the side of Axis to actually march forward as well. Axis Esports will also try to take down this road cap without any sort of contest at all. So we're looking at all these other members on over the top side here, pressuring over the side of Lasted as well. So Lasted here will just have to hold on for dear life for the time being. But Kenray shouldn't be too much of that sort of problem for him to actually hug by the corners of the tower of the bot lane.
Yeah, and Axis Esports taking a page out of what Burmese Goose did in the first series against them. In under a minute and a half, Burmese Goose were able to take that top tier 1, rendering this Marsha ineffective. And right now what Axis Esports trying to do is to take that bottom tier 1, but now Team GOSU, they're gonna jump the gun right now. Lasted does not have that level 4. General, though, pumping the damage with the wheel, not able to get the kill off. Meanwhile, Team GOSU takes that tier 1 bot, and this is what Axis Esports takes that tier 1 bot, and this is what they want. Now you free up the map for Lasted to be a bit more effective.
Wow, Flicker coming out from the side of Breezy as well, and this is going to be that turtle going on slight reset as we are looking at a full Flicker team from the side of Axis. Well, way too quick for me to see what's on the line for the side of GOSU, but for GOSU, they're just making sure that they stay safe for the time being.
They are already congregating on the top side of the map. They want to take the top tier 1 just so this Marsha can actually function. Now they go in with the ultimate onto Paulo. Great wild shot. Paulo is blocked by the wall, so they will get the first blood, and that will go over to Axis Esports.
What a great setup coming in from that Grok. Look at that wall charge ramming onto 2, and that wall to negate the escape. And now Axis Esports can take more than just that. They've already got the turtle, they've already got the first blood, and they will also take another tower down from the top side. Now, look at the gold graph here. They're already 2,000 in favor, and Axis Esports are looking to dominate.
And Lax is looking pretty fine right here because those two side lane tier 1s are taken down. Now this Marsha can go anywhere she wants. Like you mentioned, the gold grab in favor of Axis Esports completely. Team GOSU seems like the only aggression that they made was onto Lasted twice. No kills at all, and they're forced into this very conservative playstyle, and that will give Axis the effectiveness that they need. As we mentioned, that carry does go down, but Basic comes in. He wants that revenge. Polo as well with the